Okay, welcome to another video. And in the last one, we looked at sorting in SQL. Today we'll be looking at filtering in SQL. Of course, this also will be broken. The filter is a bit wide, so we'll break it into chunks as it flows. Okay, so look at the synchronization, how it's sync with one another. We'll keep them in units, and then we'll look at a full or a bigger picture later. Okay, so we stopped somewhere here, right? These are the queries from the last videos. For sorting, we have seen how to select columns, all columns, and we have seen how to select specific columns, and we have seen how to filter. That was just a quick thing, but we'll be looking at filter properly now. Okay, so we'll be looking at filter properly now. So let's say we are looking at this. So I want to see all our customers first. I'll bring this guy again. Just above it. Okay, so we selected all from the customer table, and you can see what we have. And of course, select all has to do with what? The columns. So if you look at it, we have 793 records. And even if we select specific columns, say the region, the state, the name, and the age, all from the customer table. All these columns are coming from the customer table. Okay, so if we do this and we execute it, you can see that we still have, even though we selected few columns, we are not selecting all, we still get back the entire query, the entire record in our database, the entire records in our database, 793 from the customer table. So whether we select all or few, it has nothing to do with the number of rows. It has nothing to do with the records. Selecting all or selecting few or specific columns has to do with just the columns. Okay, so keep that in mind. But what if we don't want to select all columns, all rows, I mean? So what if we only want to select certain rows? That is what we talk about filtering. That's what we talk about, what? Filtering. Of course, selecting specific column is a way of filtering as well. So not necessarily, we're taking out some entire columns, so not necessarily filtering our results. You can put it in a way. Logically, it sounds like that, but arguable, but that's not the focus. Okay, let's just proceed with what we want to do. So even though we're able to select few, what if I say I only want to see people from certain, remember this is the last query we executed that shows us this. What if we say we want to see people who are from the central region only? Okay, we still pay attention, 793. All do I need to do? All I need to do is to add the clause where. So say where region is central. And let me do it like this. Okay, because of the typo. Now, where region is central, I'll execute this and we'll get something funny as our output. But let's see, what would that funny thing be? Run. Oops, we're getting 0. Nothing is showing. But we do have central, right? You agree with me that we do have central region. Okay, so let's go back. Let's check. Let's see. See, we have central. We have central. We have central. I mean, central is everywhere. So what is wrong? Let's run this again. Something is definitely wrong. And I know this can be very frustrating. I don't know if I mentioned at some point starting out the video that if you get error, you should be happy you're getting an error, because there are some queries you run, you will not get any error, but you still not get any results. They're hard to debug. sometimes it takes experience. If you've done it before, you paid attention, you notice that this is what you did wrong, right? And then you can tell, right? Now, two things I've always mentioned is that anything that goes into the quotes or into a quote, whether double quote or single quote, is case sensitive, okay? It is case sensitive. So what do you think we're doing wrong in this case? You probably can tell with just that int. And yes, our central is not a small c, it is a capital C. Does that matter? Yes, it does, because when we were passing in the value, or when the data was loaded, since it's a text, it has quotes, right? And it has to be typed exactly that way. Okay, so let's execute that again. And now from 793, we now have 184 with just the 4 columns. So you can see we're now having those who are from central region alone. So you can try for central, for south, for east, for west. Just do something around it. Do something around it. Okay. So what if we don't want to filter by the region, we want to filter by the state? Okay, I want to filter, let's just say Texas. So I want to say where. All do we need to do? Just let's copy this, duplicate it, paste here, take this back. Then we'll say where state equals to Texas. And I'll run that. Now we're getting 77 back. And of course, Texas is in the central region. So even though we did not filter by region, because Texas is only from the central region, or is in the central region, of course we only get results from the central region. So let's run select all again and just pick a random state and filter by it. All right, let's pick a random state. Okay, Colorado. Let's pick Colorado. So go back there. Instead of Texas, we can change this to what? Colorado. Then we run that. Now we're getting what? 20 results. 20. So we just have 20 customers. And that is from the what? From the west region. We have just 20 customers from Colorado, the west region. So we have seen how to sort, how to filter using a text column. What about we filter using a numeric column? Numerical column. How do we filter using numerical column? And then lastly, we look at how to filter using a date time column. Now, the way we filter using text column is the way we filter a boolean. Just in case you have a boolean, you can either say where something is true and put it in quotes, or you can decide not to put it in quotes. It works just fine. Now, let me show you. Of course, we'll not get any result, but I just want to show you that this will not show. Hold on. Okay, boolean. We do not have boolean in that particular column. That is the only error I'm getting. If the column was to be a boolean, it will not be showing this error. So okay, chill. All right, so let's take that back. If the column was to be again what's it called now, a boolean, whether you put it in quote or not, you will not get an error. Okay, so keep that in mind. Good. So now, how do we filter using a numerical column? Let's say I want to see people who are 60 and above only. Okay, 60 and above. You can see I'm only altering my where parts. That's all I'm altering. Of course, if I want to see all the columns, all I have to change is, I'll change this to all. But we don't want the noise of seeing all the columns. It's too much, and then I have to scroll this way and scroll this way. So just want to stick to a few columns. Okay. Now, say where age 60 and above, right? Age is greater than 60. Now, if I run age greater than 60, the problem is I will not get people who are 60 years old. I want to see 60 and above. That means from 60 itself. So what can I do? I can add equal to sign, or I can say greater than 59. It's just mathematics, okay? Greater than 59 means above 59, and the next value above 59 is what? 60. That means 60 to the last age, okay? So above 69. 59, but it's better when we do 60 then we do equal to. The only issue here is you should not do something like this, greater, equal, or greater to 60. Now it is going to throw a syntax error whenever you are using another operator. I think I'll start listing out the operators. We have the not, we just use them in practice. So we have the greater than, less than, equal to. Okay, we have we'll see the few ones we have as well. Just now, whenever you're using another operator with the equal to sign, the equal to sign must come after that operator. That means you cannot do equal to or less than. It is less than or equal to. And you know that when we say it in words as well, that is how we say it. We say the other sign first, plus and equal to, less than and equal to, less or equal to, greater or equal to, etc. Okay, so it is the other sign first before the equal to. The other sign first before the equal to. So for example, in programming languages such as Python, or you want to do a plus equal to, a minus equal to, a division equal to, etc. So it is the other sign first before the equal to. The only time the equal to comes first is when you're using it alone by itself. So take note of that. So say greater than, equal to, change that. Okay, greater than or equal to. Don't forget that. If I execute it again, now we have this, and you can see we're getting 181 customers. So, oh wow, that's quite a good number of older people. See 63. You can see different regions, all regions, they're all from different regions: south, central, east, west. So literally see all the regions, right? So you can see the ages as I will filter numbers. Okay, so what if we want to filter a date column? What if we want to filter a date column? Let's run this. We do not have any date column on this place, so what can we do? We can check another table. Let's check another table. Okay, the products, no date column on this table as well. Let's check the sales. Okay, we have order dates and ship dates. Nice. Okay, so since we have the order dates and the ship dates, we can decide to say, okay, we want to see orders after. Okay, we can see 2026 here, we can see 2014, we can see 2025, 2015, 2017 is also there. Okay, let's do something quickly as usual. Of course, there's a lot of dates, so let's see if we can check. Are the dates repeating first? Do we have any repeated dates? Let's check. Let's scan manually first. Of course, okay. I think we have repeated dates, so let's see if we can simplify that. And that is removing duplicates. So let's take a look at removing duplicates quickly. It's just a straightforward thing. Select all from customer. Let's go back to our customer table first. So you can see what we have, and we have quite a number of segments. We're not able to tell the segments or all the segments we have. Okay, so let's just say we want to do select distinct. So say select distinct segments from customers. Okay, let's execute that. Okay, that's my spelling, the way I spelled it. So you can see we're getting just 3 in return. So it has removed the duplicate. Of course, I plan to do that separately, but just to show you, just want to do something quickly. select order dates from sales. So if you can pick that, you can pick it. Okay, so we have 1,237 records. So we have 2016, 2017, 28. Okay, I think 2014 to 17. So what if we want to see records? We'll go back to our previous one. Select all from sales. So since we have a lot of column on this place, so probably just want to see the order date, the ship mode, okay, the order date, ship mode, customer ID, and maybe any other column, any of this last column. So let's just do that first so that we reduce the noise. So say the order date, ship date, we have the customer ID, ship mode first, ship mode, we have the customer ID, and let's say the sales. Let's just pick the sales itself. So from sales, so let's run this. We have not filtered, we just take out some columns. Okay, so this is simplified. Now what we can do is that what if we want to see orders made in 2017 only? Currently we have a total of 9,994 orders. No, not 9,994 orders actually, but 9,994. Because why did I say not orders? In a single order, multiple products can be purchased. So, and we have the order line that keeps track of all of that. So our total record, so let's stick to the word record. We have 9,994 records of sales records so far. Let's keep it that way. So what do we want to do? We want to see orders in 2017 only. So pay attention to the number and see how it changes. So say where order date is greater or equal to, then we'll put in quotes. Now I can follow my system settings to type in the date, or I follow SQL format, date format. SQL date format is YYY MMDD, right? Of course, I can follow my own system format MMDD YYY. If yours is at the other way, that will be DD YYY for you. Okay, so whatever works for you. And of course, yes, you can use your slash. It also works. So in this case, I'll just use 0101 2017. So I want to see all orders from this particular date and see how the number changed drastically. So this is the orders in 2017 only. So starting from the 1st of January 2017, you can see all 2017. That's what we see right here. Okay, and that's how we do, and that's how we work with a date column. So you can just use your greater than. Of course, I know you're probably thinking, what if the basic ones? What if we want to combine more than one requirement or more than one condition? Want to filter, okay, what about between this date and between this date? Or want to see those who are in the south region and also below the certain age and all of that? Yes, we still have that. That is still on the table. Okay, you see, we're coming to it, and that's where we use the logical operators as well. But for this, we have just seen the basic ways of filtering. Or filter with numbers, filter with text, filter with dates. I already told you how to filter with boolean. Okay, and yes, this will bring us to the end of this particular video, to keep it short and focused. In the next one, we'll probably be looking at other part of filter, and this can be an entire a sub playlist as well under the SQL playlist. So it will be a sub playlist for filters. All right. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Do well to keep yourself active. Practice with the data sets. You already have it. So the data set was left in the description below for the installation. Did I say installation? For the loading for the video, in the video where we particularly loaded the data into the database. And if you can find it, and it should be on the top left or right. And yes, the audio has been remastered, so you should find the one with the better audio on the left or on the right of this particular one, or you check the link in the description below when you are done with this. So if you don't want to get distracted, to go directly now. Of course, this is the end of the video anyway. You can check the description below. Yes, and I'll see you in the next one. So you have this data with you. Practice more with it. Come up with questions for yourself. Share your ideas in the Telegram channel. The link is in the description below as well. And of course, there will be a quiz section to this. There are quiz sections. Just go to the description below as well. You see the quizzes, do not take them. They're just knowledge tests based on the few things you've seen in this video. Do you follow? Do you remember them? Put them into practice and all of that. Yes. And again, I will see you in the next one.